The great thing about this DVD, the first one that's coming out, is that it starts the story of how Tinkerbell came to life, which is every fairy's born from a baby's laughter. So you see how Tinkerbell learns her tinker ways and why she is as feisty as she is, and then later on you understand how she meets Peter Pan.
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I've seen a bit of the film, so every time a baby laughs, the first time a baby laughs.
The first time a baby laughs, a fairy is born.
There we go. And you play Iridessa. How long have you been preparing for this? Because I had a little word in my ear that said it's been years and years you've been working on this film.
6 years. I've been working on this film since I was 18. I'll be 23 in December. And I have been strong and steady with the character Iridessa through many scripts, through many people, and every single year I'm excited to do it, even with the changes, because it's a wonderful story.
Why has it been so hard? I mean, what's been the problems?
It's not hard, actually. It's not hard. It's not difficult at all. You want to make sure that the script is correct. You want to make sure that all of the animation is perfect. And Disney doesn't like to just half-do things. They like it to be absolutely amazing. So they just made sure that it was.
There's a bit at the beginning where Tinkerbell chooses her group, or where a group is chosen for her, and there are lots of little fairies sitting on leaves. It looks like sort of sorority, like the US,
yes,
you know, university system, where you sort of bond with a group of girls, and that seems to be the premise, or the early premise of the movie. So what was Iridessa like, and what's her group of girlfriends like?
Well, Iridessa is a light fairy, so when they go through this sorority picking, the new fairy walks around a big stump, tree stump, and different types of talents are there. There's Tinker, there's Light, there's Water, there's Animal, and Tinkerbell goes right to the Tinker Fairies. Iridessa is the reason that rainbows are made in the sky, and the reason that fireflies have their little, you know, lit bums and all that kind of stuff. So each fairy has a reason to be a part of nature, and then they all come together, especially in this DVD, and save spring.
Raven, can we talk a little bit about you and your career? Because I'm just thinking, in the era of the X Factor and this sort of instant fame thing, your career is an extraordinary one, isn't it? Because you started effectively performing when you were 3?
2. I've been in the industry since I was 2 years old. I've been very fortunate to be a part of shows like The Cosby Show and Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I had my own show on the Disney Channel called That's So Raven. I've had 4 albums to date, and I'm in a couple of movies, and I'm very excited that, you know, I've been able to be a part of this industry for so long.
I'll tell you what tickled me. I looked at your website, and I've probably lost the...
Raven-Symoné presents?
Yes, and there was a little thing about your biography, and it says, at the age of 12, this was... You had 2, this is when a sort of downturn in your career, I think that was effectively what it was, 2 cancelled sitcoms, 2 failed albums, and no work. What was she going to do? And that's the age of 12. But you
said that? I had a show, my show wasn't canceled.
Okay, so I've got that.
No, not you. I got to look at that website and see who said something wrong.
But you have, I mean, you've been in things that have stopped, and then you sort of reinvented yourself in other areas. That would be fair, wouldn't it?
Most definitely. I think that, you know, no show lasts forever.
Yeah.
And I've been very fortunate that with each show I gain another season. The Cosby Show was on for 3 seasons, and then the next show I was on for 4, and my show was on for 5. And the albums, you're right, those never did well. But we're working on it. We're trying to get strong.
To be fair to you, to put that in perspective, you had recorded with Stevie Wonder, right?
I recorded with Stevie Wonder.
When you were how old?
When I was 13. I went on tour with NSYNC. I've been working, you know, steady for a long time. It's just, you know, you always have to build a base. And I'm only 23. Well, I'll be 23 in December, but I'm claiming it now. And you have to grow. So I have years to come, and hopefully this will be the base, and people know that I'm not in it for the money, I'm not in it for the fame, I'm in it for the work. And that shows in the Tinkerbell DVD and all of the other projects that I'll be coming up to. And if you look on Raven-Symonepresents.com, you'll hopefully see the next venture that I'm trying to go into.
You are incredibly self-assured and being in the business since the age of 2. Have you ever had any doubts?
I have doubts every day.
Do you?
Especially in this industry, you never know who is going to come up and try to yank your, you know, the carpet from underneath you, and you never know when something's going to happen to you, and you might not be able to work again, or nobody hires you, and you have to keep that in mind. And my family and friends always keep that in mind, so I always make sure that I have something that I want to do later.
Got to take the opportunity to ask you about the election.
Yes, please! Woo! I voted already. I'm so excited. Was that enough? That's too early, right? It's too much energy that early.
Yes. just give us a rundown on where you are with the election, as if I couldn't guess.
Well, I came to London on Monday, so I had to pre-vote. I voted early. I personally, I'm going to say I voted for Barack Obama. I think it's very important. I remember learning in elementary school and middle school that this was going to happen, and I just feel so much a part of history right now.
That there would be a black president.
That there would be a female running and an African American running. And to sit here now and actually be old enough to vote and be a part of history is amazing. I watch CNN all the time. I'm always trying to get, you know, the whole entire picture and not take other people's opinions, make my own, and I think that's the most important.
What if he doesn't win?
Yes.
If he doesn't win, I think I'm moving to London.
Can I just ask you, on this, that thing of if he doesn't win, there's sort of nagging doubt amongst some people is that actually in the polling booth, could people stand there and say, can I vote for a black president? And at that moment in time, they will think twice. Does that haunt you at all? Do you worry?
Most definitely. I think there is a dark cloud that's kind of underneath the glitz and glamour that we try to hide the dark cloud, and it's coming up every day. It's kind of bubbling underneath the whole entire country. So I think that seeing what's really going on in the minds of people and seeing that we all need to grow up. We all just need to embrace who we are as human beings and not as different races. And hopefully that this election, and even if it doesn't go my way, who I voted for, will show that we all need to come together as human beings and be better people.
Very interesting. Thank you very much for
taking
taking
very
to the race for the White House.
And we like that much energy first thing in the morning.
That's good. That's what we need.
There we go.